Hi, Wendy. How are you?
Good.
Jing Jing. So this is the schedule for the next 3 weeks. Okay? Today is our last class for networking about subnetting. Next week is exam review. Okay? Your final exam is going to be about Key 1 and some basic programming concept from paper 2. Not algorithms, because we're going to do bubble sorting and the algorithms after the Chinese New Year today. And so for next week, for the review, we'll have some programming review. And then we will have theory. It's very similar to our mock culture. Do you guys remember our mock exam? You guys all did the mock exam? That's right, I give you guys the mock exam. It'll be very similar to paper 1. So if you haven't, I think I gave everyone a paper 1, did I? I already gave you guys all paper 1. So it will just be random questions. I'm just going to copy and paste from paper 1. And I will put it for your final exams. When are exams there, Ched? What is the date? When do the exams start? Jiha. This is the 26th. The exams are the January 26, 27, 28. You're going to have your exams for your different levels. Okay, so we're going to start. Okay, so we're going to take a note. This is our last note for unit number 3. Okay, and it's about subnetting. Okay, this is a topic that is only in grade 11. I don't think that you've studied about subnetting. So it's part of networking. It's a small part, but I'm going to teach a little bit more clearly about it. There's a little bit of math. Okay. What is today's date? Plus. What is today's date? 16. Today is the 16th. Okay? So just in your notebook, write down subnetting. Does anyone know what subnetting is? Does anyone know what subnetting is? Subnetting is when you divide a network into different pieces. Okay? So, what is subnetting? Subnetting is when we manage IPs. Okay? Subnetting is when you can break your IP into different groups. It's making groups of IPs into separate networks. And it can be good for, there's some purpose for subnetting. It can make your network more secure. It can be more anchen. Usually, what is the device that manages your network there, Wendy? What is the device that gives you the IP addresses for your network? Router. Right. So we have a switch or router. Switch /router. So when we're talking about subnetting, we're actually talking, the device that can do this job is the router, okay? The router's job is he can set the IP range. For example, each device will have an IP address. For example, 192.168.0.1. These are like 1.1 or 0.1 are standard device IPs. And then what happens is, when you have the network IP address, you can have a range. Can I use 192.168.0.1 is the router's IP. Each device must eat up or use one IP address, right? The router itself has an IP address. And then what he can do is he can give different range. For example, a subnet or a device on this could have 192.168.0.2. Agree or disagree, right? So this is one more than this guy. So we could have multiple, or it could be 3. These are available IP addresses that he could give you based on like different subnets. So this is an example where you can actually group the IPs into different blocks or subnets. And for example, maybe you want to make a separate network only for math department, right? Wendy, please note the laptop. We're taking a note. Thank you. You can only have it for the looking at the PPT. So, or we can make another group called computer science and another one for English department. Okay? And so what subnetting is, it's a way to separate networks. Okay? So there's a couple functions. It can make it more secure. How can it make it more secure? Is because you can watch what data goes to where. And so you can see and check the data going to a specific location. Other way, you can fankai the network, because you can't just talk between these. You could actually have a firewall. You can put a firewall between a subnet. So it's more secure and it's easier to manage. It's used for managing network. It can also speed up your network. It can make your network quiet so that you can monitor the traffic of the packets, okay, the internet packets and things like that. So it has several applications. So this is what we're doing today. I'm going to show you a little bit about the math, but this is an overview. Subnetting is when we make groups of IP digit, okay? We fankai the IP digit, the range of IP address. Okay. Networking addressing. We know from IPv4. What is IPv4 there, Chet? What is IPv4?
4 groups of number with 32 bits.
Yes. IPv4 is usually what we have here. This is called what? Their floss. What is this called? Yeah, this is a IP address, 对不对? And we know it's IPv4 because he has 4 blocks. Now, each block can have numbers between 0 to 255. Agree or disagree? Right? And so therefore, that is 8 bits. For example, we can have 1, 1, 1, 1. 1, 1, 1, 1. Each block, if it's 255, it'd be 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Agree? Dien, and then this will be the other one. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Each one represents bagabits. So if you multiply, it means the soil of the teacher is, Chad, how many bits is the IPv4?
32.
It's 32 bits. This is important, okay? If it's IPv6, if it's, how many bits is this there, Wendy? Do you remember?
64.
Is it 64? I think it's more than 64.
128.
Yeah, it's 128. Okay? But we are going to only focus on the IPv6. We're going to only focus on the 32-bit. Okay? So, IP addresses are in the following form. They have the network ID and host ID. Okay, what does this mean? I want you to draw a little toucan. Write in your notebook IPv4. IPv4 has 2 blocks. We can Fengkai into 2 different pieces. What is the very first piece? What do we call him? He's called the network address. Okay? 你需要写. This is the IP digit. Okay? And the second part is called the host address. Okay? Now, we can reserve. These are safe. They are reserved. One is to find the location. The other is to determine how many computers can be on that network. Okay? The network ID is for the location. It's where to send the internet package to. Okay? The host ID, its function is how many devices can connect to that network. It's 多少的电脑, how many phones, how many computers can connect to that network. It's how many devices. How many devices can connect to that. Okay? You will notice that you don't need to copy this down, or anything that I write you should copy, but this is just to give us an idea. 很久以前, a long time ago, they still have, but they don't really use this much anymore. I'm just going to tell them 他们的想法. There is 3 classes of network. There's class A. It only has bag of bits. It only has 8 bits to represent the network ID. That means you can't have too many network. That's 很少, 对不对? Class B is 大一点. It uses 2 octets. It can have many more different addresses for the network ID, 对不对? And then class C uses 24 bits, and only bag of bits is for the number of devices. So class A can have 很多. It can have many phones and PCs connected to it, because you have a whole bunch of a range of bits to use. Agree? And then class B is 少一点, and class C, you can only have bag of bits to make that. 8 bits, we would be able to have 256 hosts. Okay? For this, I can have 65,000 different computers. So just remember, when my host ID gets that, I get more and more devices. Okay? You have to get this idea that it's going to change the number of bits. Okay? Sometimes the host ID is 长一点, and then this will become 短一点. But the total must add up to gigabits. There, Wendy. How many bits must it add up to?
2.
If I add, each one is bag of bits. Each octet is 8 bits. What is the total?
32.
Yes, we just have to remember that the total number will always equal 32, but we can Fengkai between host IP digit and network IP digit. Okay? So let's move down here and have a look. we need to talk about network mask. So because we know that we must 分开 into two parts. The very first one is called what? 叫什么? The very first part of the IP digit is called
Net ID.
is the network. And the other one is called 叫什么?
Host ID.
Is the host. Now, how do I 分开? I 分开 using this thing called a mask. Do you know what a mask is? You can put a mask and it's to hide something. 对不对? If I put on a face mask, you know the Chinese opera, 他们放那个脸谱, they put a mask over their face. 对不对? The IPG teacher also has a mask. How does the network mask work? It goes like this: 255.255.0.0. This is an example of a network mask. Network mask. What is the function of network masks? The function of network mask is to 复制, is to hide some things. 255, it's going to, what happens is, this is the same as 1111. Agree or disagree? If it's 255, it means it's going to copy those IP digits. So if it's 255, that means it's going to copy that section for the network ID. The 000 means that these bits become all 0. It means that we're not going to copy that part. And so network masking allow me to 分开 between the network ID and host ID. If it's 255 ling ling ling, it means it's going to only copy the very first bag of bits. If it's 255.255, it's going to copy the first 16 bits. The ling ling means going to copy. It will not copy because we need to 分开 between network and host ID. Okay? So we'll do some examples about that. Okay. How does that work? Let's do a little bit of math now. So here is 举个例子. We have 195.12.6.14. Okay, I want you to copy this down in your notebook and we'll share it, okay? And then it has a slash /r12. This is your IP digit. 然后 we need to 分开这个 IP digit. What is the network and what is the hosts? Okay? 怎么分开呢? What we do is, this is /12. /12 means that we're going to use 21 bits for the hosts. Okay? 你需要知道, if it has slash, this is called a suffix. 然后 suffix 干什么? Suffix is 这个 bits is used for the host ID. Okay? And then we can do some 书写. How do I find the number of bits for the network ID? We know the total must be 32 bits. Agree or disagree? And so if I want to find out how many bits are for the network ID, the 书写 is 32 minus the host bits, which is /12. Floss, what is 32 minus 21? How many bits is used for the host ID? 11. Okay? That means 11 bits are used for this. So a total is 32. It means that we have 11 bits, and then the host ID has 21 bits. And so if I were to represent this in where we would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. In 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, this is one octet. Okay? We could go 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1 right here. And then, so this is 8, 9, 10, 11. This is 1, 1, 1. The rest will become all ling. Okay? Because 0 represents the host ID. Okay? So this would be 255. The mask for this would be 255. And then each of these is octets. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You can then convert this into Ardinger. 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128. And you see that there's still equi that's using for the network ID. So if I want to find the mask is going to be 255, dian, and then you have to add the ones here, because 1 means fuji, ling shi bu能fuji, right? So you go 128 plus 64, okay, and we also need to add 32. Okay, so we can do the math here. This is 12, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 32. 我们有这个, this is going to be 4, 2, 2. So this is going to be 2, 2, 2, 4. And then the other one's 只是 ling, ling. Okay? This is called a mask. This is how we found the mask. What is the purpose of mask? If it's a 1, it means to fuji. It means it's going to 翻开那个 IP 地址 into 2块. 1块 is the ID, network ID is 那个 packet 送去哪儿. And the arbu is how many different DNL or how many different hosts I can have on that. I can 分开 into different subgroups. Okay? And what we do is you look, it has to be, the network will always, IPv4 will always be 32 bits. So if you see a suffix, you have to 减, and then you know how many bits is used for a network, how many bits is for a host, and then you can 自己算 about the mask. We'll do some other 诸个例子, okay? But this is the overall idea about suffix. Suffix is showing you how many bit, 几个 bit, are used for the network of it. Okay. So, Ched, what is the purpose of masking? Masking 干什么? What is masking?
Like used to extract the host ID of an IP address.
Wait, if you have a notebook, I want you to write down, if you haven't done, masking is used to extract the host ID of an IP digit. Right? The function of masking is to 抓住那个 bits that are used for the host. Okay? It uses the AND function. Okay? It means that 1 and 1 is equal to 1, right? 1 and 0 is equal to 0. And so it means that whatever I put here, if I mask with this, so here's my IP digit, 对不对? Right here, I need to 分开 into host ID and network ID. 怎么分开? I have to AND. We should do the AND function. If I AND this means it's going to fuji 255. So it means that my host ID will be 192 because this is 保存. This is going to copy this. So we go 点 168. Because 1 and 1 means to copy. It's going to copy exactly what the bits are. And then we have 255 is going to copy this. 是。然后 0, 225 and 0. What do I get there, Floss? What is the 结果? You're going to get 0. Anything and with a 0 will always equal to 0. That means 不能 copy. It means 不能 copy. Because we are 分开. This means it's host ID. Okay? So this right here is the networking address. Network address. Wendy, what is the network address used for?
To store the number of the devices.
No. Network is, I have a router and I need to find out where to send the packets. It's like the router IP address. So 192.168.10.0 is the port or the gate. It's like the gateway, kind of, the path where the data is going to be broken into subnets. Does that make sense? It's the path for the data to 发送. It's the IP digit of where the data gonna go. Okay? And then later, this right here, this number here is to do with how the network, how many bits can be represented for the network. Okay? So you just have to remember, masking 是 if it's 255, it means 保存, 0是不能保存. And you need to be able to get this network, the host address. 可以吗? Let's do a 举个例子. I want everyone on a piece of paper. I'm going to give you an IP digit of 10, 10, 2, 1. And I want you to mask with 255. Here's the mask. 255, 0, 0. Give me the network IP digit. 现在 right in your notebook. I give you the mask 255.255.0.0, and this is your IP digit. Tell me the address for the networking ID, or the networking address. Where is the data going to go?
How can we calculate that multiple?
Mask means if it's 255, it means to 保存. If it's 0, it means 不能保存. So tell me the networking IP digit. I will check in a bit. Let me know when you finish. This is called masking. This is example number 1. Try example number 2. 192.109.2.1, and this mask is 255 0 0 0 0 0 0. What is the host ID? What is the host ID? Okay, 还有一个. You just need to rate the networking IP digit. You need to 保存 okay, can we take up 第一个做好了吗? If it's 255, what do I do with the networking IP? It means to copy. So the first one is going to be 10. This also copy. Agree or disagree? It's going to be 10, 10. Ling means 不能 copy. 不能 copy. 0, 0. This is the answer for DET. It's going to be 是是 ling ling. What this did is this is the IP digit for the network. Okay? 第二个 what is this going to be? 192.0.0.0 因为0 means 不能 copy, so we 插到这个 part because this part is to do with the host IP digit. 但是 masking is to it's to extract the networking IP address. Okay? Or to get the host address where all the data is going to be sent. Okay? That's the idea. Masking means to 保存, and it's to 分开 the thing. The purpose of Subnetting is a process to divide large networks into 小一块, and it's used for managing. Okay? Makes it more manageable, and it can also make it more antrant and reduce the security. Okay? So you have the IP digit, and then you can 分开 into 2块, 3块, 等等. Okay? Here's the math. Now, how do you determine how many subnets you can have? In your notebook, you can, the number of subnets, or how many different branches you can have, is 2 to the power n. Okay? This is the number of bits. This is the bits used for the network. Okay? Because remember, 我们分开, we have a total of 32 bits. Agree or disagree? You're going to have some bits here. The bits here are for your hosts. Okay? These are your hosts. This is the hosts. Is 几个电脑. This is your network. The bits here, if I go 2 to the power n, this would mean 几个 network you can have. Okay? How do I determine number of hosts? It's 2 to the power h 加2. The reason why we need to minus 2 is you need 1. 一个 IP digit is the host ID. It's the subnet ID. Okay? So we must minus 2 because 1 is used for the branch. And 1 is for broadcast. 1 is for the host ID IP digit, and 1 is for the broadcast. And so if I want to find out how many hosts I can have, it's 2 to the h. This is the h bits. Okay, we call this the h bits, and this is the n bits. 减2. So these are 两个书写的 thing. Okay. To determine the number of networking IDs you can have, it's the number of bits from the mask 2 to the exponent n. The number of bits for the host is 2 to the h 减2. 为什么减2？一个是 the IP digit of the subnet. 一个是 the broadcast address. Okay, so you need to 保存两个 IP digit, 你不可以用. So we have to 减2. Okay? Let's show you what we have. Okay? So again, why do we must minus 2? One is for the network address, and the other one is the broadcast. Okay? That's why you have the 减2. Here's a 举个例子. I have this right here. The question says, how many hosts are in the subnet? That means I need to find the host. I know the host, the total must this. This is the network. Okay? And 它有/28. What does this mean? There, plus. 28是什么东西？ Yes, that means this is the H bit, right? So if I wanted to figure out how many bits he have, I have to do the 书写. I have to 分开, right? So you have to go, we have to find out how many host bits we have. This is how many bits for host. We need to go 32 minus 28. Wendy, what do we get? How many bits for the host?
4.
We get 4 bits. That means the host is using 4 bits. Agree or disagree? And then, how many is for the network? 28. Okay? And so if I wanted to find out 28, I would go 2 to the 28 is 几个 network you can have. 对不对? For the number of hosts, it will be 2 to the 4 减2. 减2. Okay? This is the 书写 right here. We have 14. So that means we can have 14 hosts in each of the subnet. Okay? Now, right here is the example. We have 14. That means that you can go 192.168.1.1 and you can 最后 you can go 14. 对不对？但是为什么我们减2? Because one after that, this is called the broadcast address. And the other one is called the networking address. Okay? So we have a range. We have to be able to find out the range. And then the last one in the subnet is called the broadcast. It's the data goes on that one. Okay, we'll do, here's 举个例子. 我们自己, we have to do these. I want you to 自己试一下. Solve. I have an IPv4. 我需要分开 into subnets. And it says 25. You need to 算. What is the subnet mask? You need to 分开. Okay, just like I showed you. Show me the network and host. Okay? 怎么做? Look in your notebook. I want you to have a try. You have to figure out the subnet mask. Find out the number of subnets. Okay? And the number of hosts in each subnet. So what happens is I have an IP thing. I want to find out how many subnets. And then within here, what is my range? Okay? How many hosts? Okay? Just like that. Remember, this is 2 to the n. 你算. This is 2h 减 r. Okay? Can you do the math here? I want you to find what is the subnet mask if 25 bits is used for the host ID. 然后 use the 书写 to determine the number of subnets. The number of subnets are this guy. To the n is number of subnets. That's the 分开. This is in each subnet how many computers can be on the network. Okay? Can you do that? I will give you guys 5分钟. Okay?
How do you figure out that we're not so understand?
Step 1. What is the success criteria there, Wendy? What is the very first thing that you do? If I give this, 第一步我们是要干什么?
So the IP.
You look at the suffix. What does the suffix represent?
Oh.
It's how many bits are used for the host ID. 对不对? So, step 1, you take the suffix. Okay? So you have it's going to be 32 minus the suffix. Okay? So, 第一步 32 minus.
Which one is the suffix? 25 is it?
Yes. If you have a slash, it's the suffix. What is 25? 32 minus 25 is what? How many bits?
7.
It means 7 gigabits is used for the host ID, 对不对? So the number of subnets, okay, is the leftover. We have, so 25 bits here is 7. So what is 2 to the exponent 7? What is 2 to the exponent 7? Wendy, can you? Yep. 128. That means that we can 分开 into 128 networks, 对不对? 但是 on here we also have to have how many hosts he can have. Okay? How many hosts can he have? So actually we have to go back to this. Let's do this the mass first. Okay? So to determine the mask, you have to find out how many bits are used for the network and how many are used for the host. We already know that 25 bits are used for the host. Okay? So, and sorry, 7, that goes into 7 bits used for the host. Okay? That's the leftover bits. So if I have 7 bits, okay, each octet has 8 bits. And so I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 7 bits. Agree or disagree? I know that 7 bits are going to be ling because the ling represents the host ID. 对不对? Yes.
Why 32?
Because this is bag of bits. 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 So if you add 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 8 is equal to 32. 我们 have 32 the bits. 但是 we have to see how many bits are used for the host ID. So what we have to do is go 32 minus 25. We get gigabits. That means gigabits are used for host ID. 对不对? So for the host ID here, we have gigabits. 但是 each octet is going to be represented. This is the end of the subnet mask. Okay? So we have 0 and then 1. Convert this into binary. What do I get? This is going to be 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128. Agree or disagree? Okay? So let's put it in here. Okay, step 1 is you find the host bits. Step 2, how do I find the subnet mask? Write this number into 8 bits. You need to do it into an octet. Like this. Gigabits, and then the left all put zeros. So if I have gigabit, 我放7个0，为什么是0？1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is 7个0 because 0 represents host. Okay? After that, you're going to put ones. The rest will be 1 because ones represent the mask. Okay? Do you remember we have to 分开 e, and then it becomes 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 是 host. So in one octet, we must then convert the octet to denary or decimal. So 0 0 0 0 e is 128. So that means that my mask is going to be 255.255.255. And the last octet, this is the last octet because remember, from the right, we 分开 into 2 pieces. This is 7 个 bit. The leftover ones are all 1. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. And so it's going to be 255, 255, 255, dot. We only use gigabit for the network. This is the host ID. So it's going to be 128. This is the answer for the subnet mask. Why? It's because if I do the math and I AND this with this, the result is I'm going to get 192. 保存, 保存, 保存. And then the last bit, I can 保存. The other ones, 我不要. Okay? Okay. The number of hosts, this way. The number of hosts per subnet, we have 7 bits, so it's going to be 2 to the 7 minus 2. We get 126. The range inside here is 126 computers. Okay? That is using this equation is 2 to the number of bits used for the host ID 减2. Okay? So the network IDs. Okay? The network IDs is the first one we're going to have right here. Okay? It's going to be 192.1668.10.1. It's going to be the first one on the subnet. 但是 I need to have a range. I can have 126的电脑. And so he's going to go to 192.168. Not 1, we go 126. Okay? Whatever this number, you're going to copy here. Because in here, I can have a range of IP addresses for each computer. Wendy, are we okay? I think you're daydreaming. 你懂了? Right here, it says number of hosts per subnet is 126. 我怎么算呢? It's because we have 7 个 bit for the host, 对不对? 2 to the 7 减2 is 126, 对不对? In here, the network IDs, this is the range. Okay? Is 刚刚开始, I have my host, 保存. We're going to start from E to this. This is the number range. The broadcast one is the last one. Okay? Broadcast one is 192.168.127. Why is it 7? It's because, remember how, 为什么我减2? 因为一个是 broadcast. The broadcast is 192.168.10.0. 这个是保存. 因为 this is used for the subnet. And then this here is called broadcast. So you see, 为什么我减2? 因为0是 the subnet IP digit. It's the subnet And then in here is your range of hosts. It's 192.168.10.1 is the beginning one, and the last one is 126. Okay? So we have also the broadcast address. Okay? That's used in your network, your subnetting as well. There are a couple examples. So this is what this is the summary. 你看，举个例子，7个 bit， 我需要放7个0，但是 in each octet 需要8个 bits， and so you 需要变它 into 2零。And so convert it, you have 255, 255, 255, 128. This is what I was explaining before. And then that's how we got our answer. Okay, here's the conclusion. Flaws. We have some subnetting. This is like the A-level exam question. A subnet mask is used to subnet a LAN. 2 devices are on the LAN are connected to different subnets. The IP addresses and the corresponding masks are as shown. I give 10, 10, 12, 1, and the subnet mask is 255, 192.168.12.4, and this is it. Identify the network ID and host ID. The network ID, so I want you to use this, for this one right here, tell me the network ID. What is the network ID? Yeah, because right here, it's 255, we can only Bowser 10. So the answer is 10, ling. Ched, does that make sense? Because right here, 255 means that you can only copy the very first octet. The other ones are ling, Okay, Wendy, the second one. The host ID is, okay, right here. Host ID, again, remember, the host ID is this side, okay? This is network and host. If you use the subnet mask right here for this, tell me what are the host ID? What is the IP address for the host?
168.12.
168.12.0? Because we can't copy that right here. Let's have a look and see if we're correct. Okay? But it said the host ID, so we'll have a look. Look right here. We made a little mistake. For the first one, the network ID is 10. 这个是对。但是 Wendy, what did this ask? Did it ask for network part or did the host part? So this answer, 不对, because that's for host. Sorry, this is the network. 他们问 the network part. So what is the answer? Yeah, in this case, 你需要上. What am I talking about? Am I talking about the network 还是 host? Host, the answer is 004. 004. Okay, let's see. Yes, see, the answer is 4. So make sure 你懂 network ID, host ID. Okay? Okay, 我们继续。Subnetting can be used to separate networks into logical segments. Describe 2 other reasons for subnetting. Chad, 为什么 I will subnet? What? 为什么 subnetting 是重要? Tell me 2 ideas. Floss, tell me 1 idea. What is the 为什么 I will 分开一个 network?
More devices can connect to the internet when you give subnetting.
Actually, 我减2个. So 这个想法 it will make my network 变少一点. But why do I 分开? It's because it's more 方便, it's more manageable. I can 分开 into like a math department, and it's also more entrant. So the answer we can put is it's better for management. It's more secure. Okay? It's good for, you can manage. It actually, we're going to minus 2, 这个想法我们减2个 IP 地址。但是 it makes it more entrant. It makes your network more fast. You can manage the traffic. You can manage the traffic. Okay? So, let's see right here. It's to improve security, to make management more 方便, okay? To improve network performance. Okay? So, 你自己写2个 in your notebook. What are 2 things? 你可以写安全 management performance. 你自己写 in your notebook there. Wendy, do you have? 3个想法为什么 subnetting 是重要？你写好了吗？Subnetting is to improve security, to make management more easy, to improve network performance, because you can, if one department or one subnet is using more data, you can branch it off, and then only the data will go to that subnet. Cool?
Sir, I'm not finished coding.
Today's work is 3.6 homework. This is your last homework, okay? 今天 is the last day for networking.
Sir, I'm not coding.
It's to improve security, management, and performance. This is 3个想法. Okay? If you have that in your notebook, I'll come and have a look. Your schoolwork is Sandy and Leo. It has a little bit about subnetting. Okay? So you can 打开 your DNL, okay? And what I want you to do, have you finished copy? You only need these 3个, that's it. Your schoolwork, go to 3.6. And I want you to explain, what is the purpose of subnetting? How many bits are in an IPv4 address? This is 重要, it's 32个 bits. 这个是, you have to do that to do the calculation. When you have a suffix of 23, it's 32减 23. That will give you the number of bits for the host. Okay? Then you explain what is the 不一样的 for networking address and host address. 为什么需要分开? Okay? And then your schoolwork. I give you an IP digit. You have to calculate the subnet mask. You have to determine the number of subnets. Determine the number of hosts per subnet. Okay? The equations are 2 to the n and 2 to the h minus 2. The network ID. Okay? And the broadcast. This is the range and the broadcast. Okay? I'll come and help you where you need, but this has the 3个 questions there about the 书写, about that. Okay? So please copy, right click on this, and put it into your 作业. This is the last homework for networking, and then next week we are going to review for our exams. All right, thank you.